The purpose of this video is to provide a quick tutorial on how to calculate board feet after measuring the diameter breast height and height of a tree. Now this calculation is based upon our assumption that when we measure a tree, we're going to treat it as a cylinder that goes all the way from the bottom of the tree and then all the way to the top. Now the area of a circle is pi r squared, and the volume of a cylinder, which is what we are going to calculate, is pi r squared times height. So we're going to start with the piece of information that is our diameter. We are going to extrapolate from that the radius. We will then be able to plug the radius into the calculation for an area of a circle. We are then going to take our recorded height of the tree, and then we will be able to have both of these pieces of information that will give us the entire volume of a cylinder. Now from that we will do some other conversions in order to find the industry standard board feet. Now a board foot, just for reminders, is essentially a piece of wood that is 1 inch thick and 12 inches by 12 inches. Okay, so if you find a cubic measurement inside that each cubic foot, you have a whole bunch of board feet, and we'll come back to that later. So the first thing that we have is we have arguably we'll say that our recorded height, our recorded diameter breast height was 24 inches, and that the height of our tree was 45 feet. So what we do is we follow the table all the way across, doing the function or the arithmetic that is described. First, we're going to take our diameter breast height and we're going to divide it by 2, because that's how you get a radius. A radius is simply 1/2 of the diameter. So in this instance, we divide 24 by 2, we get 12. We now want to convert from inches to feet, and of course that means we divide by 12 because there are 12 inches for every 1 foot. And so if you have 12 divided by 12, it's no big surprise that we end up getting 1 foot, and that's what we have now. So now, of course, we're going to square this. We're not going to square this. We're squaring this radius because we want to be in feet. I have a lot of students that want to square the diameter breast height divided by 2, which is the radius, but we want the radius that's in feet. So we are obviously just going to have 1, because 1 times 1 is 1. Then we take our radius squared and we multiply it by pi, which is 3.14. And so of course we are now going to have 3.14. So we have just now calculated, of course, the area of our circle. So if we refer back to our diagram, the area of the circle that's at the top of the cylinder, we just calculated that area, and it is 3.14 foot squared. Now we have a height of 45 feet. Mind you, don't get confused. This diameter breast height is taken at 4.5 feet off the ground, but we recorded a height of 45 feet from the very bottom to the very top, and now we simply multiply them to get the volume of the cylinder. And so we get 141.3. And that's our foot cubed. I forgot the 1 in there. So that's 141.3. Now, of course, when we look at this, there's going to be, in a real tree, there's going to be a lot of dead space. We also have a significant portion on the edges of our tree that is bark, and would not be usable lumber. And then of course some of the branches that are included up in this top of the cylinder are again not going to be usable. They're going to be too small to really give us any kind of board feet. So we cannot include them in our calculation. And so if we go back to, we need to find out what our usable wood is, and one industry standard is simply to take this volume and divide it by 4 to get what we call the usable wood. And that gives us 35.3. Now we have gotten to a point where we have calculated a cubic foot measurement. So we have, of usable wood, we have 35.3 cubic feet. So now we're going to take this and we're going to find out how many board feet, how many sections, 1-inch sections, are in that cubic area. And so here we're going to multiply by 12. And we get 423.9. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm making a correction because this should actually say total board feet. It should not say volume. So now we have total board feet. I want students though to think about this volume in terms of 2x4s. So we're going to divide by 6.67 because that is the conversion rate from a board foot to a 2x4. And so the total number of 10-foot 2x4s that we would get out of our tree that we measured, our total number is going to be 63.55. And that's it. And so on the rest of the sheet, you will have your various diameter breast heights. You'll have your various heights of the tree, and you will simply follow and insert almost every number into the function for the next one. But it's important to remember for these numbers, you simply multiply. When you get down to the bottom, of course, you want to make sure that you add up your numbers and get the totals. And then, of course, is this enough to build a modern house? And, of course, the question is no. The answer is no. Thank you for watching. Good luck.